Hi, I'm Kelly Cordova, and this is my presentation over my internship. The background on my internship was I chose to do it through Valley Center High School, and I was under the direction of KW alum Scott LaCure. Um, Initially, I was only working with varsity players, then Scott had me take over the freshman team as well and be the offensive coordinator for the freshman team, just kind of see what I can do. Um, Let me take more responsibility by calling both plays on freshman and varsity teams as well as designing plays and passing concepts for the varsity team. I also assisted with the rebranding our football program, kind of helping reestablish the culture through the place as it badly needed it, and also been helping with the putting into the new conditioning and strength program for the upcoming season and the off season. He's Scott's given me a great first-hand look at what it takes to run a program, and for my presentation, I wanted to focus on the rewrite of the off season I was given the responsibility of doing. And then some of the key terms through your physiology, biomechanics, your physical skill, and your programming terms. So your energy systems, you have your ATP, PC. It consists of adenosine, triphosphate, and phosphocreatine. It provides immediate energy through the breakdown of these stored higher energy phosphates. When the system's fully stocked, it'll last between 10 and 15 seconds, which for football would be about a play, especially for high school kids, because the average play takes between 6 and 11 seconds in varsity football. And you got your glycolysis, which converts glucose into pyruvates. Anaerobic glycolysis is only an effective means of energy production during short, intense moments, and it's providing energy for period ranging from 15 seconds to 2 minutes. So when you're going on like a longer drive in football, glycolysis will be the energy system you end up using. Then you have a chart here that shows the 15 seconds, that would be the ATP PC, and then your glycolysis, how it spikes up and it lasts for the 60, or the 15 to its 120. Protein synthesis versus lactic acid. Your muscles grow by repairing small micro tears. So every single time you lift, when they call it getting swole, you have little tears in your muscles that swell up, and that's where the term getting swole comes from. And your protein synthesis is the repairment of those small micro tears, and it occurs on cellular levels during your exercise. Your lactic acid is produced during intense levels of exercise when the oxygen demands of the muscle fibers increase more than what the blood is capable of delivering. So that's when you start to get tired and everything like that. Your lactic acid is completely washed out of your muscles within 30 to 60 minutes after your workout is done. And then since muscle soreness does not show up until 24 to 36 hours later, scientists have been exercising their brains to come up with another explanation. The good thing about exercise science, it's ever evolving, and every day something new is coming out, and we're getting further along the knowledge line with that. Diet and nutrition is the biggest part of helping an athlete either repair, build muscle, lose weight, cut, whatever they need to do. It all comes down to your diet and your nutrition. Your athlete must eat breakfast every single day. I don't care if they're full from the night before, they have to give themselves something to eat in the morning. And you always want to leave 1 hour between your last meal and your workout. So if you eat lunch, a late lunch, and you get done eating at 2 o'clock, you don't want to touch a weight until 3 o'clock. Drink a gallon of water throughout the course of the day. That is the toughest part, because then the more water you drink, the more full your stomach feels, and then it's harder to eat and get protein that way. And you also, along with that, you want to encourage 6 meals a day. So you want breakfast, a snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, and it's just a whole lot of eating. And you don't ever want to consume foods that have more than 4 grams of saturated fat at one time. Avoid all fried foods if possible, which is nearly impossible with the food choices that everybody has today, especially in school cafeterias. Avoid empty calories such as soda, ramen noodles, chocolates, other little bad snacks like Little Debbie's and stuff like that, which everybody loves to eat because they taste so good, but you just can't if you're trying to build your muscle. And you have to stress the importance of 8 hours of sleep. When your body is in its sleep mode and it's resting and stuff like that, that's when all the repairs and all like everything else just finally gets to relax throughout the day. That'd be working out and eating and preparing your body. Workout fundamentals. Never perform cardio work before your weight training. You'll have your lactic acid buildup, your high volume weightlifting and intense bouts of aerobic exercise can decrease the efficiency of your central nervous system, which is a huge part in all that. You want to keep your workout between 65 and 75 minutes. You don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it also. Flexibility and core strength are vital to taking your athlete to the next level of their competition. Always provide feedback to the athlete, whether it's telling them they're not getting 90 degrees on their squat, they're bouncing the bench press off their chest, which a lot of kids like to do because it makes them look stronger, but it's more momentum than their strength. Performing multi-joint movement, it's always better to do less weight correctly rather than heavy weight incorrectly. Always stress proper form, always stress speed and explosiveness during ground-based lifts. So when you're doing your squat, you want your kid, once he hits 90 degrees, you want him to explode up. You want that power and that speed. Also with like you doing your hang cleans, your power cleans, the first phase of that lift is always most important because that's when you're establishing the speed and quickness through the weights. Principles for exercise selection, you want some ground-based movements, multi-joint movements, three-dimensional movements, which like your free weights, and then program design and execution. So for your ground-based movements, you want the ability to apply force to the ground, and then you want to stabilize the body, and it forces your torso joints to work together, and it's kinesthetic awareness. When you want to apply force to the ground, that's where all sports are played on the ground. I mean, unless you're flying planes in some kind of sport. Multiple joint movements, and you replicate more athletic movements, so like a running back hitting a hole, cutting, going a different direction. You can't really establish that in the weight room, but you can do that out on the field, and you can help the athlete be more prepared for those moments. One of my biggest phrases I love to use with my kids is be comfortable being uncomfortable. And in situations like that, you can come up with the weirdest ways to train somebody, but if it comes down to science, it's going to work. Your three-dimensional movements, like stabilizes your major joints, greatly decreases the chance of injury, forces the athlete to gain stability in all facets of movement, up, down, left, right, front, back, side to side, everything. Increases your performance also. In your program design execution, your volume and intensity varies. I was always told that when the length of a practice or length of a workout goes down and decreases, the intensity should increase, and I'm a true believer in that. You promote varying tempo, eliminate mirror mentality. This is extremely counterproductive. Athletes neglect body parts and muscle groups, which will lead to injury. So you could overwork your quad, not work your hamstring enough, then you're gonna have a lot more quad or hamstring injuries, which ultimately keeps athletes out between 3 to 6 weeks, depending on how bad the pull or tear is. And promote competition. Off-season program design, typically you want a 10-week program. Weeks 1 through 3 are hypertrophy training. Weeks 4 through 6 are strength. Weeks 7 through 10 are power. And you want speed and agility 1 to 2 times a week. And then because that also helps with injury prevention, because you don't want to spend 99% or 100% of the time in the weight room and only 1% to no percent time, like out on the field, actually running through everything we need to do. Your frequency of your workouts, you want to go 4 days a week, 65 to 90% of your intensity, and your time, 45 minutes to an hour, 15 minutes is what ended up being my off-season program design. Type mode, you're going to do full body training. You're going to have neck workouts, shoulders, core, legs, ankles, and we even do some little like lacrosse ball foot workouts in the workout, anything that could lead to plantar fasciitis. Fast movements always come first. Those are your multi-joint movements such as your snatch, your squat, your clean, your push presses, bench, all that kind of stuff. And the big thing that I wanted to implement was the 3 different weight room groups, gold, purple, and gray. Just because different kids are going to be further along in the program, so if you go either way somebody takes it, you can have one group be like your freshmen, your purple could be like a mix between your sophomores and your juniors, and your gray could be anyone that's highly advanced. And with coaches, they could do however they want, but you have to have 3 different types of programs, so that way the kids stick together and they see the improvements together. Keep all your weight room training workouts between 65 and 75 minutes, because then your hormones begin to deplete after 75 minutes, and then the athlete will not be able to perform up to his or her ability. Your hypertrophy phase, it is to increase muscle size. Position your muscles for strength and power phases, condition tendons, joints for heavy loads and stresses, and then you want to start it all with a dynamic and static warm-up. Divide your workout into 3 blocks. Your core and mobility sections and your static and dynamic warm-up are also one of those blocks. With the hypertrophy phase, you want lower sets, higher reps, 65 to 75% of your 1 rep max, and you want to give the kids a 90 to 150 second rest time, because that's when your body can restore its ATP and stuff like that, because those reps shouldn't take too long, but a lot of kids will struggle with it. And then I put a little diagram over here that is rest intervals, back to your working out and taking your breaks and everything like that. Your strength phase, this is, I think, some of the most important part of your workout. Off-season program, your goal is this is where you get your kids as strong as they possibly can be, you maximize their potential, and you build off the hypertrophy phase. You prepare for your power phase, which is the very end, and just like the common thing that's going to be in all my phases are the static dynamic warm-ups and the core mobility blocks also. With your strength phase, you want 4 to 6 sets, 3 to 5 reps, 75 to 82% of your 1 rep max. And your rest interval will still be the same as the hypertrophy phase of 90 seconds to 150 seconds. But this is where kids start to break down. You build them up mentally, you make them mentally tough, everything like that. Because those 4 to 6 sets, if you do 6 sets of 3 or 4 reps of heavy weight, it's gonna break your player down. And then to finish it all off with the phases, we're gonna go power phase. This is more of creating the explosiveness and the speed while moving the heavier weight. You can build off all those phases that we've already worked on, and there's those 3 blocks again. And then you're gonna go 4 to 6 sets, 2 to 5 reps. And with football, the coaches always they call this phase of our workout of our off-season program the man makers, just because you're going 4 to 6 sets, 2 to 5 reps, 80 to 90% of your 1 rep max, and it is difficult. You'd be, on squat if you're squatting 450 pounds. In this moment here, you're doing about 435 pounds of that, and you're just going as hard as you can for as long as you can, and it gets tough. And that wraps up the power phase with it. These are some of the workouts I drew up and designed to help and leave with Coach LaCure down at Valley Center. All of these are like your block. You can do your core stuff here. You can add in your ladders, your agility stuff, all that kind of stuff. And then it always starts with phase 1 here with your core, your first block, and your second block. That's where you have like your push press, front squats, bench, high pulls, cleans, snatches, all that kind of workouts go here in this block. And then these bottom 2 blocks, you can combine them together for what I call block 3. That's where you have like your finishing workouts, your incline dumbbell press, high rows, flat dumbbell bench, stuff like that. And your block 3, that's you can do like the little smaller workouts, so you call lateral neck workouts to help with your neck muscles. And for football, that's huge because your neck muscles will keep your head from getting whiplash and preventing concussions. And then you can add in some of the kids, like to do the curls for the girls with their biceps, like to walk around with their shirts a little tighter on their arms. And then you can do your high pulls and everything else, like the little workouts that the kids don't see a whole lot in other than the biceps, but it helps them tremendously out on the field. And then we'll go to the next phase of your strength phase. This is where you get the lower sets, the lower reps, and you're doing heavier weight, and it's all broken down into the 3 blocks here also. And the same will go for the power phase. And this is the man maker section here with all your reps and all your sets. The heavier weight, and you gotta get after it. And then the in-season program design. A lot of kids refuse to work out during the season because they think it's gonna make them slower. They're not gonna be able to, play properly. There's always gonna be some kind of soreness. But the only way to maintain everything that you've gained is to continue working out, whether you're just, low sets, high reps, anything like that. The goal is to maintain all you gain in the off season, and you want to keep the intensity low with the workout so that way the kids don't end up hurting themselves from working. Moderate their reps, and it's good for injury prevention. You can help rebuild muscles like around. I actually tore my knee up pretty bad my junior season in college, and the one thing I was always told is keep working out all the way up to your surgery, so that way the muscles around your leg are still stable. So if you have a kid that's trying to play through an injury, build up the muscles around the injured spot, and they will be able to continue playing at the top of their ability. Your intensity is going to be 55 to 65%, and you want to do a lot of body weight exercises also. Your time going to be a little shortened. You're going to go 45 minutes to an hour 15, and then just like I said earlier, your type of mode will be full body training. And that is all I have for my strength and conditioning presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.